Hello. There we go. Hi everyone. It is lunchtime for me. I set one today, so you may hear some pingity pings in the background, but try and take a lunch break, and go live and chat about a couple of Goodreads articles. I just feel like I didn't mean for it to become this way, but this year just feels like my entire content is just reactions to Goodreads. So I don't know. They've just been doing things that I've been interested in reacting to, sometimes positively, though mostly negatively. So yeah, I thought I would go live and react to a couple of articles that came out this month. Hello, Heather. Um, so yeah, let me get my screen share going while we wait for folks to come on in. Let's see. Okay. I'll just pop this here. Note that I just stole their background, though I have not looked at this list yet. I literally just actually let's see. Before I start reacting. I literally just grabbed that image. I have not read the list. Hello. Oh, hey everyone. We got people filing on in. Yay, I'm glad you can make one. Yeah, I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. Oh, I should mention I also have a live this Saturday with Blades and Buys book club. So we're reading The Cask. I've got my costume ready. So if you guys want to join for that, yay, I'm glad people could join. Hello, hello. Yeah, could be great, could be awful. I don't know. I'm interested in doing this because I'm less opinionated, I feel like, about SFF, because I don't think of it as like my genre the way I think of mystery and like romance stuff, but there we go. Hello to Germany. Oh yeah, it's a good time hopefully for the EU. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious to see what all is on here. Hello? Yay. I enjoy all of the sort of just meta, like what gets on these lists conversations. Watching and working. Yes, good for you. Hello. So let's talk about some predictions. I mean, obviously from even just this graphic, like, okay, here's a few that are on the fantasy list. We've got Babel, Legends and Lattes, Fourth Wing, City We Became, and Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. But so the premise of this is it's the last 3 years the most popular SFF on Goodreads. So like I'm assuming we're gonna see some sequels on here. Oh, that's a fun idea where you've not read a single book. Um, I'm assuming like James S.A. Corey, some of that stuff for sci-fi. Maybe, oh God, what's his name with Red Rising? Like that series possibly could be on here. I'm assuming we'll have some Sarah J. Maas. I'm assuming we're gonna have Brandon Sanderson. Who else? Uh, yeah, that's the thing. It's just really, it is pretty broad. And because they include fantasy romance, like I'm trying to think which of those are like, I don't know if they'll have like Cassandra Clare stuff on here. I definitely think they'll have some Sarah J. Maas. Maybe, oh God, what was that? Jennifer L. Armentrout series. So how much is just marketing from large publishers? It could be. They usually define, actually, we'll scroll down enough to see if they define the methodology here. Okay, before I don't want to. Okay, try not to get to the actual list here. Um, Okay, as always, the included books are determined by average star ratings because everything on here has to have a 3.5 or better, and which titles wind up on Goodread members' read and want to read shelves. So like they could do some monkeying around, I think, in terms of how they get to the read and want to read. But I almost feel like this is sort of like if we take them at their word that that's the methodology, it's almost like it's the marketing from publishers like one step removed, because what is on people's read and want to read is so driven by like book of the month club and like which ones get the big push. So yeah, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. I'll also be interested to side note, I'll be interested to see how much TikTok influence is on here, because I feel like romance and fantasy are kind of the two big TikTok genres in general. So we'll see. Like Fourth Wing was in the little graphic. That's a good example of it. Oh, the Atlas 6. I bet that will be on here. Um Oh, cool. I haven't seen that she put that out. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of fancy romance on here. T. Kingfisher. I feel like she's got more popularity in horror, so I don't know if they're including horror in this. I bet they'll wait till October to do one for horror. Yeah, I mean, this is just gonna be popularity. Oh, okay, somebody's already read it and says that they're surprised. Yeah. Okay, let's start with this fantasy one. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, cozy fantasy. Oh, House in the Cerulean Sea. That makes sense with Legends and Lattes. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, I have said, is fantasy romance in my opinion. We've got Babel. Okay, big epic Finnis. Okay. So here we've got Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Here's our first Sarah J. Maas. My guess is this will not be the last. And then House in the Cerulean Sea. That makes sense. I hadn't said that as a guess, but yeah, if we're talking about cozy fantasy, I think that was sort of like House of Cerulean Sea walked so that Legends and Lattes could run, I think. Like, I think that tipped off publishing that this was something people liked, and then when Legends and Lattes started having all of that organic support, I think they've definitely hardcore hopped on that. Okay, here's another Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City, Atlas 6, which I DNF'd, and then Piranesi. Okay, yeah, so here's another kind of thread is what I would describe as literary fantasy that has sort of a crossover market. Um, and I would definitely put Piranesi in that category. I quite enjoyed it. I guess I'm assuming it's by popularity, the ranking. So I guess I'm a little surprised to see this one so high up. And I guess I'm also surprised to see the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue at the very top. Interesting. Okay. So there's Babel, and then Under the Whispering Door. Okay, yeah, that was the follow-up. Circe, yeah, if they categorize that as fantasy, then yes, I bet that could be on there. Um Oh, I forgot that Piranesi was a Book of the Month Club. Yeah, anything Book of the Month Club definitely gets a push. So I really enjoyed Babel. Under the Whispering Door, I didn't like as much, but still thought was, solid. I need to take this off my TBR because I just have lost interest. But Naomi Novik is a big author, and then that has like that kind of like school angle, which I know is really appealing. So that makes sense. Piranesi, dark academia, good point. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I don't know that it's literally dark academia, but it kind of has some of that vibe. Addie LaRue always felt a bit literary to me. Interesting. Yeah, same. I mean, it was solid. I felt like it was fine. I have no interest in Addie LaRue, so um Top 2 aren't too surprising, taking into account they came out when TikTok was exploding. Yeah, and, now that we're saying this, like, the last 3 years are really, like, the post-pandemic TikTok explosion. So, all of these books really are in, like, a post-book talk world. Um, yeah, there you go. Okay, so, Stevie King. Um, I'm not gonna read that, but more power to people. Fourth Wing, do not know anything about Fourth Wing other than it's like uber hyped. So I don't know. I don't even know what the synopsis is. It's one that because it's so popular and because I know nothing about it, I'm tempted to get it and do a reading vlog of it of just like raw reaction. So I don't know. I might do that, but I know it's very divisive, and I know that people have very strong feelings about it in both directions, so, um, Dungeons and Dragons and Dragon Writing School. I mean, that is like a pitch I enjoy, so I don't know. Daughter of the Moon Goddess doesn't surprise me to see it here, though for me it wasn't awesome, like, it was fine. Okay, Ariadne was a Book of the Month Club pick. So that checks out. She Who Became the Sun is huge on TikTok, so that checks out. And then Once and Future Witches, I guess I wouldn't have thought as being super popular, but it definitely I definitely hear about it, so I guess I'm not like shocked by it. Um Fourth Wing just sounds like a good time, feels less than organic. Interesting. Will not read Fourth Wing, but I hope it gets more disabled protagonists in fantasy romances. That would be good. Um, Dragons and plot holes. There you go. Uh, oh yeah, I know that Marinas hated it, so it just I don't know, but I wish. I wish. I don't think that it's a tie-in to Hercule Poirot, but that would be an amazing plot twist. Yeah, witchy books. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that this is one of Meg's favorites. I should read it at some point. Since she's my book twin. Yeah, that's right. Is it He Who something something? But the sequel just came out, so there you go. Oh, Holly Black. I don't think I mentioned her, but yeah, I mean that goes along with the Sarah J. Maas of it all. And then Brando Sando and Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I'm kind of surprised that Book of Night has more than a 3.5 star just based on how many people I know who hate it. Um, so I don't know. He Who Drowned the World. There you go. Um, yeah, yeah. If I read Fourth Wing, it would be, excuse me, as sort of like a because I was curious kind of thing. Yeah, I'm surprised that Book of Night had enough good ratings. So, um, yeah, I've heard really good things about that book, so I do not trust this list now that Book of Night is on it. Actually, let me just double check. Let's double check the okay, 3.54. That's how it's snuck on here, I think. It's by the hair of its chinny chin chin. Um I'm all in for the Fourth Wing as an industry plant conspiracy, and I say that as someone in the indie romance scene, so I'm not against genre getting popularity. I just love the drama. There you go. Yeah. I mean, it's provoking a lot of emotions. Oh, that's right. I forgot Book of Night was Book of the Month Club. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Wicked King it just came out too long ago? I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'm struggling to think of one that I know of. Yeah, yeah, it's just there on the edge, so okay, there's Legends and Lattes, which I loved, City Became, which I enjoyed, and then I DNF'd, um, Ninth House, so I didn't read this. I did not hear good things about it, so again, I'm a little surprised. Okay, but 4.19, so I guess somebody enjoyed it. Um Oh, hey, we have a Book of Night apologist right here. We just found one. Um, I bet everyone just forgot to take Book of Night off their one to read shelf off after the reviews rubbed in. That's very funny. Oh, a sub box. Yeah, that probably helped too. Um, okay, so Lee Bardugo, big author, and Kate Jemison is a big author, and then Legends and Lattes was like the breakout hit. So, oh, interesting. I'm kind of surprised to see The Witch's Heart on here. Okay. Interesting. I remember this cover, but I guess I didn't think of it as being that popular. That one kind of surprises me. You guys know that I am in the tank for Black Sun, so love that. And this is a little surprising to me too, for the Wolf. Okay. Interesting. I guess I wouldn't I mean, I've heard of both of those books, but I just yeah, I guess I just am surprised that they're that popular. Um Yeah, that is true. Any sequel is gonna do better rating-wise because, if you didn't like the first one, you just don't keep reading. Okay, this is interesting to me. Oh my god, not Empire of the Vampire! Oh, do okay, somebody asked about T. Kingfisher, and I forgot about Nettle and Bone. So, yes, very excited to see that. That started my love affair with T. Kingfisher, so love to see that there. Empire of the Vampire, I'm not gonna do it on this stream because actually I actually think that me and Jess reacted to these at some point, but if you have not gone and read some of the reviews on Empire of the Vampire, treat yourself to A, some of the snark against it, and B, the fact that Jay Kristoff wrote the cringiest self-review on Goodreads I could imagine. And I am like, the fact that somebody would put that in public is amazing. Is a amazing feat of self-awareness. Um Oh, okay, Catherine, I should clarify. Thank you for yes. So we're just looking at the fantasy list right now. There's a separate sci-fi list that we'll look at next. But yes, if this was combined, then they would be really messing up here. Author of Witch's Heart dropped new book yesterday. Sounds amazing. Love that. Light Hellbent. Mm, okay. There you go. I mean, I don't whatever on Jay Kristoff, but like just that review is astonishing. Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's the last 3 years, like there's a bigger push, but there's not a ton of backlist on here. So there you go. Yes, I love Nettle and Bone. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, Legends and Lattes is lovely. Yeah, good call. Good call. They did. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Um Yeah, so we'll get to the sci-fi list here in a second. Yeah, the self-review is truly breathtaking if you've not read it, so there you go. And then a little John Gwynne, who I've recently discovered is just, like, not writing my kind of book. Oh, interesting. Okay, Book Eaters, I'm very surprised to see on here. Because I guess I just didn't think of it as being that popular. Was it a Book of the Month Club pick? That checks out. That's been super buzzy the last few years. When Women Are Dragon is definitely one that I would like to read. I'm very curious about it. That's sort of on my, like, someday I should get to that TBR. Jasmine Throne, I own a copy of, and I also own a copy of Kaikei, and I'm not gonna do Brando Sando. Yeah, I mean, like, I check it makes sense to me to, like, "Hey, I wrote this." Like, that's the most common author review I see is, "I wrote this, 5 stars." Like, that is fine, but it was, like it's a full-on it includes gifts. I'll just put it that way. Um, oh, it was an Illumicrate book. Okay, yeah, so you always gotta factor in the subscription factor here. Yeah, I'm excited to get to that one, though I'm struggling with long books these days, so it may be a while. Oh, okay. You guys know I love Nora Roberts, but The Awakening was one of my least favorite books I've read from her, so I can't support that. I also thought Book Eaters was horror, but I guess, the line between horror and fantasy can be thin sometimes, so I don't even think I've heard of Malice. When did this come out? 2021? The Prince Oh, yeah! Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this. I'm actually kinda surprised it has such a high rating because I thought that it was quite divisive, if I remember rightly. And then Sure? This is a new one. Curmudgeonly professor journeys to a small town. Oh! Well, okay, actually, this sounds like cozy fantasy, and I'm opening this in a new tab because that sounds like a goddamn delight. Yeah, as horror and fantasy. Interesting. Yeah, it's bad. It's something to remember though. Okay, well, we found one book that I'm gonna potentially read on the influence of this list just because it sounds like it's a cozy. Okay, Samantha Shannon totally makes sense because of how popular the first book in that one is. A River Enchanted, I remember being a book of the month club pick, so that makes sense. And then this is a very popular series from S.A. Chakraborty, so that checks out. All of these make sense to me. Another Brandon Sanderson. I did enjoy A Marvelous Light, so I'm happy to see that there. Oh, The Wolf and the Woodsman, I have not heard of. I don't even recognize that cover, so this surprises me. The Fairy book had several special editions. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Oh, nice. Good to know. Okay, I'm seeing some love for that book. There we go. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it was a shocking lack of self-awareness. Oh, it's a naked hardback. Ooh, love that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, Goodreads, you have influenced me to get one book. So there you go. Chosen and the Beautiful makes sense. That had a big push behind it. I want to say Stone Blind got a book of the month club release. If it didn't, my guess is it's writing the same kind of like I bet that it was pitched as like, if you like Circe, read this because that's been such a big book. And then Thistlefoot also was a book of the month club pick, so that makes sense. The Wolf and the Woodsman has another cover that's mostly red, but the same pattern. Interesting. I appreciate how Silvia Moreno Garcia goes about reviewing her own books, no star rating, just a pitch for readers to pick it up, a Spotify link, etc. Yeah. Yeah. I picked it up on people's recommendation, but I have not read it yet. Stoneblind was longlisted for the women's prize. Okay, there you go. See, I love how with our powers combined, we can sleuth out why each of these is on here. So that makes sense. Damn. I just feel like it just keeps going. 72 books is a lot. Okay. So then Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. I remember this being a really big one. Chosen Ones was also very pushed. And then Stardust Thief was a book of the month club pick for sure. So yeah, those all check out to me. Yeah, I don't know that people liked it that much. I'm kind of surprised. Okay, 3.61. I'm surprised that it has a high enough rating, but it was very pushed by the publisher, so it makes sense to me that it was on a lot of people's list. Oh, okay. Inheritance was another book of the month club. That'll definitely do it. Yeah. Let's see. The Jim Butcher. Okay, yeah, that came out in 2020, so that was probably riding the high there. I adore Peter Jelly Clark, so I love to see this on here. And I feel like this is one of those series that is very organic in its hypage. Like, I think the push for it has built organically over time, which is cool. I've never read anything from Charlie and Holmberg, but I know that they have that really popular other series that's got like, is it like The Paper Magician? So I think this is probably on the strength of that author. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And then Sorrowland by River Solomon. I guess I'm kind of surprised to see that on here. I mean, not that I haven't heard about it, but I'm surprised it's popular enough to be here. So that's kind of great. The Change. I mean, I remember, I think I have this on my want to get list because I remember somebody pitching it to me. But again, I'm a little surprised for it to make it here. Yeah, Paper Magician, that's what I was thinking of. Jim Butcher was yeah, that's true. I bet the novella probably just didn't have enough support in this time frame. That's true. Yeah, Charlie Holmberg is published by one of Amazon's imprints, so since Goodreads is owned by it. And then, yeah, I really enjoyed The Adventures of Meow Safari. It was a Book of the Month Club pick, and I think it's gotten good reviews, deservedly so, in my opinion. Nature of Witches, I don't know that I've heard of. And The Song of Forever Pains, I also don't think I've heard of. And Charlie Holmberg, again, I think that's just, they're a popular author in general. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of either of those. So that surprises me. Oh, I didn't know The Change was Book of the Month. Well, there you go. All roads lead back to a subscription box. Okay. Unbroken was very buzzy, so that makes sense to me. Library of the Dead, I didn't think as being that popular, but okay. And then again, there's been this whole yeah, Jennifer Saint also has Electra and Ariadne, and then there's also, I think because Circe did so well, there's just been Lady Greek myth retellings, it feels like have been popular. Let's see here. Okay, The Change just went on sale on Audible. Huh. Okay, it's another KU book. Interesting. Yeah, I see Undertaking of Heart and Mercy coming up here, which I loved. After I did a book club with Bethany about it, both of us realized, this is an even better book than we thought it was. So there you go. Oh, okay, how are we doing on time? Okay, I gotta pick up the pace so we can get to the second list. I recognize both of these covers, but I'm surprised to see them here. Cyrus Queen by Niveau. I'm surprised that this had a high enough rating because I didn't necessarily see a ton of really wonderful reviews. I really have to get to Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I keep trying to do it and keep not doing it. Got to make time. But I'm glad to see it here. Oh, interesting. Princess Weeks did an excellent video discussing the Greek retelling trend. I did not see that, but I'll have to go check my subscription feed. I feel like YouTube does not do a great job of like pushing things that I'm subscribed to me, which is very annoying. And then Clytemnestra. I always struggle with that one. Another Greek retelling, Greek myth retelling. So there you go. Okay, we only got a couple more on this one. So Witch King I read and enjoyed. Martha Wells is a huge author. That makes sense to me. Women of Troy was a big, it's in that Greek myth trend, and it was a big one when it came out. I haven't even heard of Black Tongue Thief, but I'm guessing this is some kind of epic fantasy. So that's not necessarily as much on my radar. I'm surprised they consider the Salman Rushdie one to be a fantasy, but okay. Huge author. And Jade Legacy, very bottom. I'm surprised this is so far down, especially because so many people loved this when it came out. Maybe because it's a little older. I don't know. And I've never even heard of that. Okay, so that is the fantasy list. Oh, Siren Queen was book of the month. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm surprised that that wasn't higher up, but so from that list, there were definitely some surprises on here, for sure, at least to me. And I do have one new TBR book, so that's exciting at least. Okay, so that was the fantasy list. Now we're gonna switch over to the sci-fi list. So yeah, I thought that was that's an interesting little list here. Okay. Let's go to the sci-fi list. We'll start with what's here. Oh yeah, Sea of Tranquility, the Between Worlds one, Justin Cronin, Light from Uncommon Stars, okay, and Hail Mary. So here we go. Let's see what kind of trends they're calling out here at the top. Do, 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 do. Okay, it seems like they are not necessarily really seeing strong trends here. So, okay, so Project Hail Mary, that makes sense. And then it's paired with two what I would describe as literary sci-fi. And I wonder, I'm guessing we might see a lot of literary sci-fi actually now that I'm thinking about this, because I feel like books that I don't think of as sci-fi, because to me they seem more literary, I see pop up on these sci-fi lists quite a bit. So that makes sense to me. Just in general, when I'll see like best sci-fi of the year, and then I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was sci-fi. So that'll be my prediction, is I think there'll be a lot of literary sci-fi on here. But none of, yeah, somebody said, not shocking at all. That completely checks out. Okay, yeah, Celesting. That's another one that I would describe as literary sci-fi. Paulini. I'm surprised the rating was high enough. Okay. I have not seen really many good reviews of that book, but he is a big author. So there you go. This is another one that I'm like, I would not have realized this was sci-fi, but I have seen that cover a lot of places. So there you go. How High We Go in the Dark was huge last year, so that makes sense. Literary sci-fi. Jennifer Egan is definitely a literary writer, so yeah. Oh, interesting. Good to know. Yeah, there's a lot of so far there's definitely a lot of literary sci-fi. Am I crazy? Was this a book of the month club pick? This cover looks familiar. Okay, it's definitely a read with Jenna. I see the read with Jenna sticker on there. So that checks out. This got so much good hype last year, so it's cool to see that here. Upgrade was book of the month club. I DNF'd it. And The Space Between Worlds was also book of the month club. I remember that. We have some Becky Chambers, who is a very popular author. So that makes sense. I'm glad to see this so high up, actually. Okay, we've got a big sequel. That was one of my prediction was lots of sequels. So there's a sequel to a very popular series. And then Murderbot, which we'd love to see, and is another sequel to a very popular series. I am surprised to see The Echo Wife this high up. I am very surprised to see that so high up. I didn't realize it was so popular. Interesting. Okay, we don't think The Measure was book of the month club. Yeah, I DNF'd Upgrade because I just couldn't. But we love to see Murderbot, at least I do. Though, am I gonna say is this a safe space, guys? I'm not sure how much more Murderbot I need. Like, I love Murderbot, and I'll read them when they come out, but I think it might be time to start winding that down. I don't know. Don't tell anyone I said that. Okay. In the Lives of Puppets, I didn't love. It was fine. Um, it was fine, but meh. Scalzi, big author, so that checks out. I am very surprised to see Light from Uncommon Stars so high up because I guess I thought of it as sort of an underdog book, but maybe it's more popular than I realized. Um, yeah, I think in general I like Martha Wells best in novellas so far. Yeah. Oh, that might be fun. Yeah, to do like to follow a different character world quite a bit. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we've got the Hank Green book sending, healing vibes to Hank Green. He's fighting cancer right now, but it seems like he's on the right track there. So, okay, James S.A. Corey. I called that one. Kim Stanley Robinson. This is like an old book, right? Am I crazy? I thought they were like I thought that Kim Stanley Robinson was writing back in like the 30s. Am I completely off there? I'm looking at the editions. Wait, okay, Kim Stanley Robinson. Okay, I guess I'm completely off there. He was born in the 50s, and his work is labeled as literary sci-fi. So there you go. And who am I thinking of? Does anybody? I could have sworn there is a Kim Stanley blank, who's like an old timey author, but maybe I'm just totally wrong. Okay. Oh, we gotta keep. Sorry, I'm distracted. I just get caught up in this, but I need to reel it in because I am gonna have to bounce here in a few minutes. So then Justin Cronin is a big author. I was not that impressed, but there you go. Bethany would be very excited to hear that Winter's Orbit is on this. This is a big sci-fi romance story. And then Lindsay Ellis, love to see it. Not my kind of book, but love to see that for her. Okay, A Children's Bible is definitely literary sci-fi. And then Dead Silence, I'm kind of surprised to see on here because I thought that this was more horror, but it might be kind of like The Book Eaters, where it gets classified as both. Interesting. And then The End of Men. Yeah. I remember when that came out. Interesting. Okay, I don't recognize any of these three. Like, not a one. I really like this cover. But I do not recognize any of these three books. So. Okay, yeah. SciFi Horror, it could go for both. There you go. So I don't know, Light Pirate, New Wilderness, and Followers don't even blip for me. Adrian Tchaikovsky is a big author, and I don't know if this is in the same. Okay, no, it looks like it's a first in a new series, but what is it? Children of Time is a huge book, so makes sense people would be interested in more. I never did come back and read this Nnedi Okorafor release, but I think that this is a novella. And then I own this book. I keep meaning to try it because it sounded really interesting. This is like I think it's like queer space opera-y kind of vibes. Okay, Light Pirate is book of the month. That definitely checks out. And then, okay, the New Wilderness was longlisted for one of the big awards. There you go. You guys are helping me crack the code here. Okay, the Arcady Martine, that makes sense. We've got a Star Wars book. Not surprising. And then another Becky Chambers, and this is the one of the entries in the Wayfarers. So yeah, that totally makes sense that is on here. Okay, I have a copy of Chain Gang AllStars. I'm so excited to see that it's buzzy enough that it's made this list because it seems rad. And it's the kind of book that I like want to exist in the world. So I'm excited to see it was popular enough to make this. Tell Me an Ending. Never heard of it. And Constance, I don't think I've heard of that either. So I don't know about that. Neil Stephenson's a big author. Paradox Hotel. I really enjoyed that one. I'm happy to see it on here. It's sort of like a sci-fi thrillery with time travel book. So glad to see that here. Another Veronica Roth. She's just a super popular author, so not surprised to see that here. I loved Constant Sci-Fi Thriller, but didn't think it was that popular. Yeah, I didn't recognize it, but apparently it has an audience. Another Scalzi. Leech, I am almost completely sure made the horror Goodreads Choice Award list. So, ooh, An Isolated Chateau? Nobody told me that. Okay, well, maybe I'm gonna read Leech. Maybe I'm gonna read Leech. Yeah, another Veronica Roth. An Aardvark. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I'm appreciating that there's at least some surprises on these lists beyond just like I've never heard of it. I don't know. Riot Baby was good. Thumbs up. And I do feel like that was a pretty big book the year it came out. So there's a Ken Liu. and another short story collection from him, so not surprising since he's a very well-known author. William Gibson is a very well-known author. And then do I know M.R. Carey? Huh. Okay, Leech was amazing. Good to know. Hello, hello. Yeah, Riot Baby I felt like was very it was a rich text for sure. The Apollo murders. Ooh, that sounds like a mystery. Okay, I might check more out about that. Blood Trials, I think that this was very underserved by its cover because it reads so YA in the cover, but apparently it's not. But I know Bethany absolutely loved that one. Oh yeah, did Rabbits make the Goodreads Choice Award list? This seems like it's familiar to me. Okay, yeah. M.R. Carey wrote The Girl with All the Gifts. There you go. Yeah, I've heard Blood Trials is extremely adult, but it's just the cover, I think, reads that way. Was written by an astronaut. Oh, that's right, Chris Hadfield. That's right. Okay. And then Vanished Birds I DNF'd because I didn't have enough brain power to get into it. The Deep Sky I think is a fun sci-fi thriller, so especially for a debut, I think it's pretty solid, so I would recommend that one. And then Lost in Time reads very I don't know. Interesting. When his daughter is falsely accused of murder, a scientist must travel 200 million years into the past to save her. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a hard pitch to me that you have to go 200 million years in the past to solve a murder. Yeah. Vanished Birds. I know people love it. I just didn't have enough brain power to devote to it. Yes, he is a Canadian. That's right. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. People who had enough brain power for Vanished Birds seem to love it. So okay. We're getting close. I gotta hustle here. Okay. Hunt the Stars, sci-fi romance. Yeah, it got a big push. Haven't heard of either of these. Last Watch. Okay, this is a big one that's coming out this year. I haven't heard of Last Watch or Mickey 7. Mask Falling. This looks like it's a sequel. Yeah, it's in Bone Season. I DNF Bone Season. But Samantha Shannon is a big author, and that is a big series. Okay, I've had a couple people recommend this to me, and this seems interesting slash fun. So I might get to that one. Okay. I enjoyed Station Eternity. I am gonna read the sequel. I thought it was fun. It's like a think Murder She Wrote in space vibe. Another Adrian Tchaikovsky. I have not heard of The Deluge, but I love that his last name is Malarkey. That's very fun. Another Star Wars. I keep my exoskeleton to myself. This sounds like literary sci-fi. Oh, John Mars. I really need to try John Mars. I think I might do a try a new author with him because several of his books have sounded very interesting to me. Oh yeah, and Ascension sounds really fun, though the rating is kind of low, so maybe not. Don't know about either of these. Okay. A lot of surprises on here, but I think in a good way. Ooh, okay, Mickey 7 getting a lot of love here. And it's getting an adaptation. That makes sense. Elder Brace. Interesting. Yeah. It was fun. I think it had some pacing issues, but I think it was because it was the beginning of a series. So I'm excited to see if the follow-up is a little better for me. Author of Machine Head. There you go. Oh. Okay, so I definitely found a couple of new books that I'm gonna read, so that's exciting. Overall, I I think it's harder. Well, no, it's not harder. It's just different trying to coalesce fantasy and sci-fi. So for mystery thriller, they basically just do thrillers. So it's I think a little easier for them to come up with lists in that respect. But for fantasy and sci-fi, they have a lot of ground to cover in terms of the kinds of books they'll include. So yeah, I don't know. They were both interesting lists. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me while I went through that. I don't normally say this, but I guess turn your notifications on if you want to catch these lives because I'm just going to do them when I look at my schedule for the day and realize I have time where I could. I've got a couple that I'm hoping to do in the next couple of weeks. So if you want to make sure you catch those, turn the notifications on. I feel weird suggesting that to people, but that is my suggestion. Um, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on my lunch hour. I hope you guys are doing well, and my team's chats are blowing up, so I gotta run. But have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.